someone that I've wanted to have on the program, and this seems like I think a great time to do so, because as I said at the top of the show, we have been talking a lot about his team. We have been talking a lot about the state of his team. We've talked to a lot of the members of the team, but we haven't talked to the man who put the whole team together. And the team that I am talking about, of course, the Fighting Nerds, very much in the news over the past 2 years. Last year, getting all the praise in the world, Team of the Year, all this stuff and more. And as things go with every single team in MMA, there are highs and there are lows. And one could say right now this is a bit of a tough stretch for them. But they don't seem to be the type to cower or hide, shy away from any of it. And you're just a couple of wins away from everyone forgetting about it all. I'm talking about Pablo Sucupira, who I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Let me ask him now on the program if I'm doing so. He's the Alchemist, and he's kind enough to join us, the head coach and founder of the Fighting Nerds. Pablo, thank you so much for the time. It's great to have you on the show. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Sucupira.
Sucupira.
Yes.
Okay. Pablo Sucupira. Close enough.
Sounds good.
Okay,
That's
all right.
perfect.
Thank you so much. Great to have you on the show. I really appreciate it. And I know there's been a lot going on in your life and the team, and also congratulations on becoming a father. I saw you you recently welcomed a baby into this world, so congratulations on that too.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Is that your first?
Yeah, it's my first baby. Really proud of that. And in the middle of so many wars, I think this is still the most important thing in the year.
Of course. Why do they call you, by the way, Pablo, the Alchemist? Where did this name come from?
Man, actually, it's a nickname that I gave to myself. I like a lot the alchemist, because it was a guy that in the beginning was like a magician, like do some eternal life, and then with the years come through, he started to be like a scientist. He changed himself to keep existing. And I like the way the alchemy works. So I think I make a blend with a lot of emotions to create a performance. And then I started to think, hey, maybe I'm kind of an alchemist. So I like this nickname.
Yes, I think it's a great one. And it speaks to your background in fighting. You used to be a boxer, right?
Yes.
Did you ever compete in MMA?
No.
Okay, so and you had 5 pro fights?
I had 5 pro boxing fights, and I have like 30 Muay Thai fights.
Okay.
I started as a Muay Thai fighter.
And then when did you retire from fighting?
2009. I was fighting Muay Thai yet, and I got a fight that I was supposed to win that fight and then go to a title eliminator outside. But I wasn't training well. I was having an athlete life. And I got knocked out in the second round. I wasn't expecting that. And for me, it was like a shock, I said, what the fuck? And I always saw the martial art as a tool to be the best in the world in something, I want to prove that I could be the best in the world in some area. And I thought being a fighter was that tool. And in 2009, I got knocked out, 29 years, and I thought, man, I will never be a world champion fighting. But I'm still young. If I move as a coach, I think I can reach that. And from 2009, I stopped fighting and just focused on being a coach. I opened my first gym, and now I'm closer than I was fighting.
I love that. When did you start the Fighting Nerds? When did that start?
Man, my gym was called the Combat Club. So I had this gym, and the name, man, I said, this name doesn't mean anything, Combat Club. There's a lot of gyms with the same name. And I've been bullied a lot when I was young in my school days. And I started to brawl because of that. My fighting days started like fighting bullies. And I was always like, I study a lot, and there was Caio Borralho, my first MMA athlete that I started to train. And he was like a chemistry teacher and fits well for him also. And I started to think, man, we are kind of nerds, we study a lot. We are not bad guys, and we don't like to brawl. And I thought, man, we are kind of nerds, fighting nerds, and I like this name, and I think the rest is history.
And what year was that when you decided to adopt that moniker?
The rebranding, I think, was 2018, 17,
Okay.
something like that.
And so Caio is the first, and then you start to add Carlos Prates, Gian Silva, Mauricio Hufi.
Yeah. Well, I think the burst of our team was in the lockdown, when everybody needs to stay at home, and we are a team of 6 fighters. The only well-known was Caio Borralho, but a lot of promises. And I talked with the guys, say, hey guys, we're supposed to be at home those 3 months. But I remember the story of the Lion's Den. I don't know if you heard about that.
Of course.
But the Lion's Den, when Cam Shamrock lost to Royce Gracie, and he said, hey, we are not training well. And he put all those guys in a house, I think in Colorado, for 6 months. And everybody was there just training. No, they didn't see his families. And I thought, man, we can do the same now. We are in lockdown, nobody can do anything. Let's lock ourselves in the gym and just train. And I think that was the born of the Fighting Nerds, because then we attached as a team, and we started to train together. And I think from then we started to see some people. Back in the days, we just had Caio and Rufi from the UFC, but we were a team of 6 people. By the end of the lockdown, we were a team of 20 people. So we really grow in this time of the history.
And so it culminates with last year. You guys have incredible success, incredible victories, performances. You win awards, team gym of the year. As you're experiencing all this, and then as the year is culminating, are you thinking to yourself, wow, I can't believe how all this is working. I can't believe all the good fortune, all the good luck, all the good results that we are having. How are you processing all this as 2024 is coming to an end?
Man, I think we were reaching our dreams so fast. And I was thinking, man, I can't even taste those good things, because with so many fights together, we got 2024, I think was 26 fights, 22 wins, in the UFC. It was so much hype and so much things we were conquering. And I think I couldn't enjoy the way I should. And then after 2024 ends, we knew that we're going to have a really hard 2025. I was expecting that, because the expectation of our team was so high, that would be really hard to reach that, So I was already expecting a really hard 2025.
And so it has become a little bit harder, right? There's been great moments like Carlos in Chicago, but some tough moments like this past event in Paris, and on even Carlos's fight against Ian Gary. And now you have to listen to everyone talking about the fall of the Fighting Nerds, the death of, and you see people celebrating. How have you been dealing with all of this? You as the man who put it together, as the coach, the founder, the leader of the team, how have you been dealing with the recent tough times, if you will?
Man, I think the size of the people talking trash talk is the same size of the compliments we had before. So I thought we had too much compliments before we reach our belts, I think we got too much hype. So I thought, man, when we lose, it's going to be huge also, because people are talking too much of ourselves. And mostly, I think this year, it's the end of the fairy tale. We got like almost a fairy tale when everything was going so well. And now we're going to start a documentary. So now it's going to start a solid story, with defeats, wins, some mistakes. And I believe that we're going to reach the top. I believe we're going to make some champions. And more than that, we're going to make in a different way. I think we present to the world a kind of different way of fighting. People want to see the fighting nerds, even people who want to see us being defeated. But people want to see our fighters fight because we know the game, we know what the UFC expect from us, we know what the fans expect from MMA, and I think we're developing something new, and we just doesn't reach the top yet, and people are even expecting that to celebrate or expecting our fall to say bad things. But one thing's for sure, people want to see us fighting.
Mm-hmm. And that is 100% true. That's a very sort of mature and level-headed response and approach to this obstacle. Do the fighters feel the same? Are you sensing the same from them, or are you feeling like you have to pick them up? Are you feeling like the morale is down right now?
And I think Carlos had a good recovery from his defeat. I couldn't speak so much with Rufi yet. He has some issues. And Caio still, we still have to talk more. Gene is back in the gym already. Caio had some trainings with us also. I think the most important thing is to see if they are even more hungrier than they were. Because the only way that we won't reach the top if we give up, you know. Because I think we have a good material. I think we have a good mindset. And I won't give up any time yet. I will reach the top. And I think the athletes think the same I did. So I think now it's to put the feet on the ground, talk a little bit less, and regroup, you know. I think the most important thing for me as a head coach is to keep the team together as a group, as the same way we've been climbing. And I think now most important than see the mistakes and what we have to develop as a technique is to keep our team together as a group, as a family. And I'm focused on that. But anyway, I can see that Caio, Gene, Rufi, and Carlos, they want to evolve, you know. They are not happy with the situation. They want to evolve and to prove that they can do better than that. And I'm 100% with them, you know. I think together we can prove that what we did is championship material. Because we put on a show, we got a lot of bones, but people still think, is that championship material? And that's what we want to prove.
Have you studied what other teams have gone through? You know, there's so many teams in MMA over the years, and they've been, you know, there was a time where this team was the hottest team, and then they have a tough time, and everyone says, oh, they're finished, and this team comes along. This is not unique to you guys. You know this, right? And so I'm just wondering if you looked at how other teams evolved and adapted when faced with these tough circumstances.
It's like, I think what is different from our team is the rise was so fast.
Yeah.
I was studying the teams, and usually they take 10 years to debut in the UFC and reach to a title, 10 to 12 years. And we are 2 years in the UFC. Like, it's our third year since our debut, our first fighter debuted in UFC. So it's like we are in our childhood in the UFC. Sometimes I feel like Michael Jackson, you know, like, he was so young and being so light on him. And I think we had the same. I think we had a beginning of our career in the UFC was with so much expectation and so much hype that people forgot that we just started, you know. It's our third year in the UFC. We have a long way to go. And I hope we keep doing things fast. But I'm young, I'm 45. I want to be coaching for at least 20 years. So I know I have a long way ahead of me, and I think the team the same.
I understand that this might be a tough question to answer, but sometimes when you get all that success very quickly, one's head gets big. Did you sense that was happening within the team, maybe even to yourself as well? And do you feel like there has been a humbling process this year?
Yes, I think so. I think we are living as champions before we were champions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the hype and the media and all the sponsors and even the UFC was betting a lot on us. So I think it's impossible that you can't, go with the vibe. And now we had to step back a little bit, but I feel the ground is more solid now. I thought we were in a Crystal Palace before, and now I feel that people knows that we're gonna lose some fights. People know that we're gonna come back and win some fights, and with the losses and wins, I think we're gonna be one of the top teams in the UFC, and that's what my goal is, to be ahead, along with the top teams, and do not just the numbers, but do in a different way. I think the most valuable thing that I did is the mindset of the fighter. How do we see the fight? And I don't think this was proved yet. I think we have lot to prove about my mindset and my fighting view. I think we can do even bigger things when this part is understandable.
Yes. When you talk about the state of the fighters, the main fighters, the main four, you did mention Mauricio's having maybe a slower time. What did you mean by that when you talked about Mauricio not quite there?
No. It's not that it's lower time. It's that he had already, before the fight happened, he had some appointments, sponsor appointments that helped to pay for the camp. So he needed to go to Australia. He was there, and he had some family issues, some really serious family issues. Now he's coming back to solve them. And then I just didn't sit with him to talk. But I think, man, I've been talking with him in the cell phone. And like Kyle and Jim, I've seen them really strong, really want to be back on track and prove that they were better than people were saying.
Okay. Well, what do you say to people who say the team has to evolve, and in particular with the wrestling, that there needs to be more of a wrestling presence, a wrestling focus? What is your response to that?
Man, could be. What can I say? We just lost 2 fights with people putting us on the ground. It's hard to say that we have a good wrestling, but I can say by the trainings they have really, really good wrestling technique. Flavio Alvaro, our grappling coach, I think he's really, really good. But I think was the mindset. I think we got in the fights like almost knowing that we would win these fights before it happened. I think our fighter was too relaxed. And when you fight a striking game more relaxed, we can do that. But when you're talking about grappling and wrestling, we'll be really, really focused on that, really on point. And I think Benoit Saint-Denis and Diego Lopes, they got our guys like get inside the fight. If you see Rufi and Jim, before they were taken down, they were getting inside the fight yet. Like I always say, the first minute of the fight just to study the opponent. And I didn't feel our guys was doing that. They were like, we're going to go there and knock the guy out. We've been doing this for... Imagine, like those guys, they've been knocking guy out for the last 11, 12 fights.
Right.
It's hard to tell them, hey, guys, watch out. This fight's going to be hard. You have to prepare. Because they were knocking everybody out. Now it's easier for me to coach them because now we see the dangers of the fighting game. Now we have to be more focused. In a stranger way, I think my work is going to be easier now.
Yes, no, I understand that for sure. What about not being too emotional, and in particular with John Silva? It seemed like maybe the emotions got in the way in the fight with Diego Lopez. Yeah. Is that something that you would like to work on?
I think so. I think the trash talk can't be inside our heads. What I felt that the trash talking we are doing made more effect in ourselves than the other guys. So, man, Gene is the happiest guy I ever seen inside the octagon. Even in Diego Lopes' fight, he was smiling and really happy inside the cage. But this happiness made him less focused on the fight, you know? So I think now it's time to low down a little bit the emotion, even the feelings, even the good feelings and the bad feelings, and be a little bit more robotic, you know? We have some steps. We have some strategic steps that we have to follow, and we were missing that. So, man, I think we're going to change a lot of points, techniques points, emotions points, strategic points, even mediatic points. I think we got too big, you know. Before we were really big, you know. So I think was a good step back. We were needing that.
I am very excited about the comeback. I think you have the right mindset, the right approach. I have no doubt that this team is going to be back to where it was last year. I think anyone who is counting you guys out, your team is too talented, and you appear, it's my first time speaking to you like this, but you appear to be too smart to allow just a few losses. People make a big deal about a loss, and then you come back. Look at Carlos. He loses to Ian Gary, and then he wins, and then everyone forgets about it. So it's a very fickle sport. I did want to ask you, Pablo, I saw on social media you were at the Spaten Fight Night event. Did you see the brawl? Were you there for the brawl and what happened to Vanderlei Silva? I saw you there on social media.
Yes, brother.
What the hell? Tell us what happened from your perspective.
I was really close from the ring. And, man, it was a hot fight. They were trash talking them before the fight. And even in the ring, they were talking with each other during the fight. And I think, just like the fighting nerds, the problem wasn't the fighters. The problem was the team, the coaches that were behind them, especially because a lot of fighters as coaches. And I think they got too heated with the trash talking. And if you see the fight beginning, both fighters was trying to calm down the guys. And I don't know. I think we are seeing a lot of teams, including my team, participating too much of the trash talking and the brawl. I think this is an athlete part, you know. I don't think the coaches and the team should be involved with that, you know. I have to protect my fighter, but I think when the lights go on, it should be the fighter on the lights, not the team, you know. So, man, it was a really good fight. The event was, I think, the bigger event we ever had in Brazil, in a boxing event, was, man, perfect. I have to appreciate what the brand was doing. But the end was not a good end, but, man, things like that happen in the fighting game. Won't be the last time.
I have heard, I have a good friend named Guilherme Cruz who works for MMAfighting.com, the Brazilian Beast I call him, and he reported that this was a very high-profile event on Global, and the attention has not been good, and that it could potentially hurt mixed martial arts in Brazil. Are you feeling any of that? Has this become such a big story that there's a potential blowback on MMA in the country?
I hope not. I know that the event and the brand got a lot of attention, a lot, but wasn't the best attention I think they were expecting. But I think they have a good media team. They will drive this to make. I think we're gonna have at least one more event like that. And the most important thing is the next event we do everything right. And the people inside the event understand how important this is for the Brazilian sport. I was there. I was, man, amazed with everything. And I really hope people understand that and think not just in themselves, but in the whole country, because we need that. Our sport need that.
Yes, of course, with the great history of fighting in Brazil. With regards to your team and the main four fighters that we've been speaking of, do you think any of them are going to fight again this year?
I think so. I think Gene might fight in December. Kyle was trying to fight a fight in December also. Actually, it was really kind of hard to find opponents for our guys. And I think after those defeats gonna be easier.
Uh-huh.
But I think
And Carlos obviously
at
against
least
Leon.
Jim will fight. We have two guys fighting in contender series.
Today.
Yeah.
Wow.
The main event and the co-main event is
And how
fighting nerds fighting.
Are you there? Are you in Vegas?
No, I'm São Paulo. I'm preparing the guys from UFC Rio.
Okay.
But Caio Borralho is there. Caio Borralho is coaching them.
Okay. And you have Carlos obviously fighting Leon Edwards.
Man, one thing I would like to tell people, we are not just those 4 guys.
Sure.
Fighting nerds, we are almost 50 fighters, 50 pro fighters fighting there. We are already 12 guys in UFC. Imagine that in 2 years and a half, we are 12 guys fighting in UFC. We had this year 3 contender fighters. We already had one contract winner, and now today 2 more guys. So the team is much bigger than those 4 guys. Those 4 guys, they are like the best we have, of course, but we have a lot of guys coming. We're gonna see a lot of new names from our team. And one thing I realized with all those 4 guys, we develop a game that it's a show. Everybody wants to see. But when you reach the title eliminator, all the 4 guys reach that point and come back. So now it's time to move a little pieces to burst onto the title contender, you know. So we understand that point. We have a lot of fighters coming, and we have those 4 guys that we're gonna move some pieces, and I'm sure they're gonna reach the title fight, and then we're gonna tell another story about that.
And I did also see Alex Pereira came by the gym.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Man, we've look how funny. I've been training with Alex Pereira since he was fighting kickboxing before the glory days when he was fighting in Brazil. When I was a boxer, I had a heavyweight boxer, Igor Adiel, a Brazilian champion, and they used to spar like 8 rounds, 10 rounds, and it was like a fight. Alex used to say that the only place he could really spar was with us. So I helped him before the UFC, and after the UFC, he come back and sometimes he did some training with us. I like to talk with him a lot. I admire him. I think he's one of the best martial artists I ever seen in my life. So it's always a good talk. And every time he's in São Paulo, he reach me, hey, can I go there? And so, of course, man, our gym is like a lab, you know, a laboratory. So everybody who respects the sports and knows how to train can go there. And if you are a UFC fighter and wants to do some training there, you are welcome. And I would like to change this way that you only can train in your gym.
Pablo, I have to say, a real pleasure to have you on the show. Congratulations on all your success. Amazing stuff. I have no doubt that, you know, the ball will start rolling in your favor. Once again, you have a lot of great fighters. Good luck to the team tonight. Good luck next week in Rio, Madison Square Garden, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much for coming on. Really great to have you, and I look forward to our next chat.
Thank you, Ariel. I've been watching you for a while. I was always dreaming about being here, and I hope to one day be in your set and talking about a belt.
Anytime, my friend. I look forward to that as well. Thank you so much. Obrigado, Pablo. Sucupira.
Yeah, brother. De nada, meu irmão. Muito obrigado.
There he is. Pablo Sucupira, the head coach and founder of the Fighting Nerds. Really great chat. Love coaches like him. Love the insight. You know, everyone's going to react to a few losses in a row. But as he said, over 50 fighters and 12 or so in the UFC, couple on Contender Series tonight. That number could grow by the end of the evening. So a lot to be excited about if you are a member of the team and if you're a fan of the team and you're a fan of those guys. And it's hard not to be a fan of those guys, if I'm being honest. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.